spot right now, and they'd like to make some headway here, moving towards playoff contention.
Playoffs are definitely within striking reach here, and we'll see if that can happen here for 100 Thieves. This roster looked so good on paper coming in, and it has sadly been nothing but disappointment, but there's still room to turn it around. 10-8 should almost certainly make playoffs. It's nearly a guarantee for 100 Thieves, so if they can turn it around, it's smooth sailing. Nico Band's coming through. Yep, that's not much of a surprise. She is definitely incredibly strong if you've missed it. Even without the buffs on 9.5, which will be next week, she's still very good. Mostly WMAX on hit Nico. Very, very strong champion. Recommend you play it for free low and solo queue if it doesn't get banned. Strong champ.
Even though Broken Blade played it AP with TSM in the LCS, on his stream, he has also been spamming the on-hit Nico since then. So I think it's a very good ban because TSM have been one of these dedicated teams that want to win through split pushing. Broken Blade on Jax, Broken Blade on Nico, Broken Blade on whatever you choose for split pushing to victory. This has been their style that they have fallen into now and found their stride through the mid-season.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting because these are two teams that have gone in opposite directions. It's a 5-1 run for TSM, a 1-5 run for 100 Thieves across their last 3 weeks. And you can kind of see the records looking a bit opposite as well. Alistar first pick, not a huge surprise for Aphromoo. TSM taking other high priority picks themselves like this Ezreal. Not much of a shocker here. We'll see what the eventual answer is for Bang later on, as they TSM is taking a very long time to lock in these champions. Six deliberating a lot what they want with the composition.
All right, the Ezreal for Zven has been a go-to for many years now. Last season, he had a tremendous amount of games on the champion, and it's a very common combination with Tahm Kench. It provides you with one of the most defensive bottom lanes that there are in the game that also scales really well, because Tahm Kench works super well with split pushing compositions. As we said, they want Broken Blade usually on a strong solo laner that will split the map up. Then Tahm Kench, you get to use the Abyssal Voyage to gain timing windows to take objectives like towers, moving around, helping out the split pusher as well, or just devouring a teammate.
Well, you mentioned timing windows and taking towers. I'm actually very curious what TSM will round out their composition with, because I want to point out the 100 Thieves first picked the most played support for Smoothie in the Alistar, and they banned away the Sejuani of Akaadian. So there are two, the most picked engage tools for TSM are denied. Jarvan's now gone as well, so I'm curious if TSM will lock in a good engage champion that they're also comfortable with easily in this draft. 100 Thieves clearly aiming at that sort of toolkit to remove from TSM, and we'll see if that strategy does pay out.
They've also locked in the Sivir here for Bang. Definitely a possible super late game carry. You know, the 500 CS condition Sivir has been around for a long time. Even in lane, they clear the minion wave very quickly. Do like the new Essence Reaver as well.
Compositionally, this feels a little bit hard to be Sivir into, though. I think it's hard to fight a LeBlanc. If you're in range to auto, she's in range to do 4,000 damage to you. You can spell shield one of the spells, but it's still painful. And Ezreal, of course, easy to kite with that Iceborne Gauntlet. Bonus move speed, generally trumped by big AoE slows. So things to watch out for. 100 Thieves, though, can still win later game teammates. They certainly have a beefy front line. They have engage, absolutely. The question is what rounds out the composition. Soligo so far in Academy has played a lot of these default team fight mages like Lissandra and Ryze you're seeing banned out here. So TSM, of course, doing their own homework.
And I kind of like what TSM are doing here with the LeBlanc pick blind for Bjergsen, throwing down the gauntlet. Hey, we've got one of the best, if not the best mid laner in the entire league. You're putting in your Academy mid laner. What you got to go into an assassin? Because they have confidence in Bjergsen for that lane. Meanwhile, on the 100 Thieves side, they continue to focus on that split push that TSM have shown over and over again with these top lane bans.
Those bans also do cover for a Yorick pick here, if 100 Thieves want to go for that one, as they're two of the very best matchups in the champ. But there are more to play. Like, there's still good Yorick matchups out there for Broken Blade. Also, with the Nocturne picked up, that is a good reinforcement for a split pusher to ult in and really kill that side lane.
Surprise! Phreak, TSM want to draw the map out 100%. So really the only question is, what will their solo lane for the top side be that they can use to try and get a lead early, try and break down some of these towers early on and spread out the map? Because Nocturne, Tahm Kench, Ezreal, and LeBlanc are all components that you want to put with a very powerful split pusher. Meanwhile, on the 100 Thieves side, They want to stay as 5. Sivir speed boost your Alistar, your Jarvan to go get that hard engage. Your Aatrox is a great frontliner utilizing the ultimate for that timing window of the revive coming back up. This is a very forward-facing 5-on-5 setup that they just want to try and catch someone on the TSM side. They hovered it in the first pick, and they lock it in with the last pick.
He named himself after the champion, Broken Blade on his Riven himself. Viper brought it out first in North America. A lot of other champions have followed suit. This will be exciting. A Riven master here in the top set against Ssumday on the Aatrox.
I wanted to see Broken Blades Aurelia, Riven, and Yasuo. So far, we're going to get 2 out of the 3 in the LCS. Those were all part of the YouTube highlight video TSM put out when they picked up Broken Blade from the TCL. A lot of the hype was generated, him coming over Turkey. And he's really melded well with the team since he's gotten here. Let's see what 100 Thieves can do, though, because a lot of fans have been trying to rally around this team for a while. You mentioned their 1-in-5 slide that they've been taking. Interesting wild card they've pulled here to switch out Huhi, put in Soligo. Time is now. Got to make your stand.
You got to make your stand. You're outside of playoffs. You've got to make up some games. You've got 6 to play, and the first of which is against TSM. Definitely a daunting opponent, one who has done better and better as the split has gone later. TSM seemingly returned to form. They had never missed an LCS final, and they missed it back-to-back last year. They missed Worlds the first time ever as well. This roster looks a bit better. Maybe it's their return to form. This should be a tune-up game for them against 100 Thieves with a substitution as well. But it remains to be seen if Soligo can step up, if 100 Thieves can turn it around and find their way back into the playoffs here. A former finalist in the LCS, sitting in last place. They got to pick up some wins. We are on to the Rift. Let's go in a game.
Aphromoo started out with the cowbell and bangs with the sneaky cosplay.
Well, we do have a word with Prawley, the 100 Thieves coach, to talk about this matchup.
Thanks, guys. Prawley, so Huhi's out, Soligo's in. What was the decision-making behind bringing your Academy mid laner in today?
He's actually been having a really good showing in Academy, and in scrims it's been a good performance as well, so it made a lot of sense to give him a shot on the big stage, even though he is playing against Bjergsen, who's a good mid laner. He actually had a good showing against him in scrims 2 weeks ago against Bjergsen, so I'm kind of excited to put him in a skill matchup today.
Any advice that you gave him to go against such the huge titan in the LCS?
Not big ones, just he's playing against a champion, like a champion as in like LeBlanc the champion, not like champion. So yeah, he's playing against just champions that he's played against before, so that's something he can deal with. And he's played on the stage before, so he knows how to use like the emotional aspect of like the crowd cheering to use it for his advantage.
Well, Prawley, thank you so much, and wishing you both the best of luck. Back to you guys.
So I think that can be summed up as turn nameplates off.
Yeah.
Play against the champion rather than the player.
Although, I'll be honest, I can turn nameplates off, but when I'm laning against Bjergsen, it's different from laning against some like plat 2 mid laner.
You can tell, huh? Something different. Well, I did like what Probably also kind of talked about with these scrims. You know, apparently they've had him in scrims, and they scrimmed versus Bjergsen, and he did quite well there. So super excited to see how this mid lane does play off. But once again, the story for TSM Games, split push. Get their top laner ahead, Broken Blade, keep him in a side lane. And everyone else draft champions around that work well when the enemy team is very spread out. Now, a lot of the time, for a strategy like that to work, you do need a powerful early game to start getting those towers down early and getting control of the vision.
All right, and there we go. This would be Soligo's view, by the way. He's up in the mid lane against Bjergsen.
He's got a jungler coming around through a ward. So you see what Bjergsen did there. He didn't move until Onda fully came through. You know, you want to waste a little bit more time.
I was told they would drop nameplates. That was a lie.
Phreak was standing here with his hands up for a while. I was like, what? I was just
like, this is what he sees. The mid lane. All right, we're going to save this one. We're good. Hitting up against Bjergsen, though, that matchup going okay so far. Ssumday. You know what's funny? They both have those, like, 3 triple hit Qs. You kind of dance around and do somersaults.
Yeah, I mean, when Aatrox rework was first announced, they're like, oh, so it's like Riven, yeah? Broken Blade says, no, it's not like Riven. This is a Riven.
Doing a pretty good job on that one. Gets a little bit of stun there, but he's doing all right for himself. Ooh, nice shot. Ssumday crits the entire minion wave.
It does feel more like kind of like a fighting game in the top lane now that we have Aatrox versus Riven.
Yeah.
I do like that. Each of them can have combos. Rivens are a little bit more complex.
Yeah. Mechanical burden a bit higher on that champion. That's all right, though. We still have a tied game very early on. No obnoxious laning phase leads. And in fact, it's pretty good for Soligo. Hey, there's the nameplates! The nameplates were gone in the mid lane. You saw it.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what he saw.
Freaky.
They told me they'd do it. I wanted to pay him off.
Well done, my friend.
Thanks to production as well. You guys are great.
Meanwhile, both junglers are going to end their routes here on the top side, and I do expect a decent amount of effort to be put into that lane. Ssumday, to me, has been the highlight star for 100 Thieves, even in their losses. You know, getting decent advantages, sometimes for himself, sometimes with the assistance of teammates. But most importantly, he is against one of the key players for TSM, where TSM have put Broken Blade, their new player, on this powerful role.
Get the first knockup. What a turnaround with that Q, though. When the flash get away, the fear is on. He needs 2 more autos. Akaadian's going to die for this one. He flashed forward and didn't have it. First blood goes to Ssumday with a fresh red buff as well.
That's what we expected. Junglers ended on the top side. They both go for the play. This time around, 100 Thieves get the kill. It goes to Ssumday. Aatrox has first blood money. That's the way they want to set it up. Let's take another look. Akaadian goes in here with Broken Blade on the timing. They don't quite get him out. I believe he started his Q as the stun came in. Akaadian continues to commit there to try and go forward. Ssumday still able to dash out though, and Anda can finish up the kill.
That's a heartbreak because, of course, with Jarvan coming in, they both chose to flash. Akaadian chose to flash forward, Broken Blade flashed out, and when that choice happens, Akaadian is always dead. And it's unfortunate they picked the wrong play with respect to each other.
That's a topic that we've been examining with this team over quite a few of their games in the LCS, and specifically with those two players, a lot of the 2v2s, they have had different ideas about how to play the game. That was a very clear illustration of it. 1 in, 1 out. As you said, you need to have a little bit more time, I guess, to get to know the tendencies of your teammate. I feel like you're running out of time as you're starting to approach playoffs.
Yeah.
You need to definitely get those down.
No, TSM probably securely in a quarterfinals berth, but you'd really like a good seed, and I think you can consider that Golden Guardians are pretty close on their tail at this point. GTS is actually maybe only a game and a half behind, and with a loss here, if TSM does drop, it's a single game behind losing out on 3rd place. 100 Thieves at least did finally get some good synergy going top jungle. That was definitely a criticism for us for a while on them. And Ssumday, despite playing for more than a year together, since about a year together on 100 Thieves, it's maybe getting a little bit better over time.
Meanwhile, we can check in on the mid lane as well with Soligo, the Academy mid laner coming in for 100 Thieves. He's hit level 6 on the Syndra. They're both going for the recalls. Top side, they're still camping here. Akaadian just waiting around because there's a big minion wave. Anytime there's a advantage for the enemy top laner and there's a big minion wave crashing, you have to think, wait, are they going to try and dive? Are they going to try and make our top laner miss out on this minion wave by forcing it? So that's why Akaadian's sitting there in the brush, waiting for a counter play. He's not looking for an offensive play.
Good stuff, though. Fraskin's tease dotting his eyes. No dive, and the farm will be gained, so it's only a 2 CS difference down here in that, or up in that top lane, even despite that kill coming through and the very awkward gank from earlier. Continuing the battle, Broken Blade should be able to get most of these minions. Nice Q by Ssumday, forces him off, and he's just denying these casters. Look at that. Actually forces all 3 up, and now the ult is burned, but Ssumday's level 7, but he knows the Qs are on cooldown. And Broken Blade just can't find the way in. Ssumday kiting it away.
Not close enough there. Now the ult from Riven going to time out. Has to use it very high health, and Ssumday trades back effectively.
Really nicely done. And TP, of course, already down for Broken Blade, and Riven has very, very low health regen. This could actually turn out very well. It's an awkward recall out of Riven. He's going to lose a wave out of this, and could be easy to cash in a turret plate or 2 for Ssumday.
This is very big for the two compositions for what they want to accomplish early on in this game. If 100 Thieves can control top lane like this, it makes it very hard for TSM to actually open up the map and utilize their strengths. Meanwhile, it's so easy for 100 Thieves. Oh, mid!
Dodges the chain, big damage coming through. Flash away, Ignite is burning. Cleanse will remove Ignite, he's gonna be fine. But now headbutt, pull right to the mid lane, looking to trade back on a Bjergsen. Will never turn into a kill as Smoothie's coming by as well. Soligo survives the first gank, but does lose double summoners.
Yeah, Onda is coming too, Smoothie.
Oh, he doesn't have a good way out. The CC gonna keep chaining together. Gets the shield, jumps over the wall. The chase in, and dunks a man and picks up that kill. Now a fear out of Akaadian. Good damage towards his Jarvan, but he's feared. He's spell shielded, but can't get rid of the knockup. Only blocks the Q damage. It's 2 kills in the mid lane for Anda.
And 100 Thieves jump out to a huge lead here, banging the top or in the bottom side here, alone with Zven trying to push in the minion wave. But that train of champions just walking through mid lane, giving more money over to 100 Thieves. Anda's the one that actually cashed in with the last hits of both of those, so he's a very happy jungler. It's going to be a tank Jarvan, but that is going to be a front line for 100 Thieves to work off of.
Yeah, I think front line is the right choice for Jarvan, who you've got Sivir and, you know, this, I want to say Sejuani, it's Syndra. There we go. My brain's going to work. He's got a back line here, and Ssumday's doing okay topside, so yeah, I think tank is the right play for sure. And this is really good. Right place, right time twice now to turn around some ganks.
All right, let's take another look at the roam. You can look at the mini-map right now in the replay. We'll see the Tahm Kench coming up the river, the Alistar coming up the river. We know what happens here at the tower. Cleanse takes off the Ignite, but Aphromoo does go in on Bjergsen, and then Smoothie tries to commit to walking up through the river, but Anda's the third party. And now Smoothie is in a pincer between two 100 Thieves members with crowd control, even though he can flash over the wall. Anda answers. And now they've just got the numbers advantage. They funnel right in, they press that advantage, and they finish up a second kill.
Really nice stuff right there. A huge bit of extra gold, and even over the wall, grabbed himself a fairly early Mountain Drake. Gonna be about 9:52 into the game, 14:52 for the respawn on that. And the Mountain Drake is picked up for late game objective plays. One turret taken down to the bottom side. I believe at least one taken over top lane as well. Soligo still holding just fine in his mid lane. Bjergsen hasn't yet died, but equal in CS against probably the all-time best mid laner in North America. This season, at least top 3, I would say. Some say number 1 still, and that's fine, of course.
He does, you know, he did get out of the Nocturne ultimate in a lane versus LeBlanc. He's pulling both summoners and just walking straight back, but does survive.
It's up in gold. 10 minutes in, of course, assist will do that for you, but a Scouting Grounds player against Bjergsen, that is better than most people's debuts. When Jensen debuted in the LCS, he was down 100 CS against Bjergsen. This is a good marker for him.
Meanwhile, we are going to have some objective focus for here for 100 Thieves. I like to see the recalls coming off once again for the support, invading with the jungler. Anda and Aphromoo actually work together to get a lot of deep vision here in the top red side jungle. We can highlight this, and you can look at those 3 wards. That's a lot of very deep vision this early on in the game. That is going to go such a long way in helping Ssumday continue to use this advantage against the Riven. The main point of this match that we keep hyping up with these champion select is that the Riven not getting off the ground early is not going to get the game plan moving forward for TSM. And this deep vision also sees the Nocturne right now on screen. They're even pinging him.
Now it's going to really hurt Akaadian's ability to get in. He's 0 and 2. Both times he went for a gank, it was backfired by Anda showing up in time to turn it back around. And that's a rough start for the Nocturne with the ults failing so far. Still has a stopwatch though in case something else gets turned around later on. Might matter down the line. Anda right now looking to get rid of some of the vision and maybe look at a Rift Herald a little bit later on.
Yeah, with all the deep vision in the red side jungle, plus they're winning top side, this should be their objective to take. And you can tell Akaadian feeling a little bit antsy here, hovering around on the Nocturne. Does have his ultimate ready to go.
Nice CSing by Bjergsen. Always good to see someone last hitting with a mage without bonus AD. Good stun though.
They're going for it.
Soligo wants some damage, not even close to the chain, and Bjergsen's out of mana. He might not be able to W. Flashing but still slowed. There's the dunk, and Bjergsen still does not have an escape route just yet. Nocturne comes back in, Alistar here as well, and he ults the cloud. It's the wrong choice for Soligo. Ignite is on, and they got that one kill. Pushed it back. Akaadian though, one auto does get the trade kill, but there's still a chase to come on in as the teammates have come around for the bot lane. They find another knockup at a Ssumday. There's a stun as well. It's another 2 for 1. 100 Thieves getting every fight correct.
Once again, 100 Thieves all come to the defense of their Academy mid laner. They collapse onto TSM. They get the extra kill. And that is going to be Rift Herald picked up.
This is looking really good now. 100 Thieves picked a good time to start spiking later on in the season. Watch that fight again.
Again, instantly rewarded for their efforts putting that vision down. On the vision, they see Nocturne at the Wraith camp. They know Bjergsen here with very little mana. They can get the early advantage in the trade. Now, Aphromoo as well as Soligo both went for the clone. Anda stays on the clone. They're able to get Bjergsen on the retreat here. Akaadian flashing forward. Does get the kill in the end. 2 for 1 once again as 100 Thieves secure the second.
This is twice that Akaadian has spell shielded the Q from Jarvan, but not the knockup. Whether intentionally or not, he's still being CC'd, and that's allowing the follow through in some of these fights. So some of these, I think, like, mechanically, he should be able to get away from, and just slightly misplaying them. As now Ssumday going to start taking away the jungle. Top lane's not enough for him. He's got to take the Krugs too.
Yep, Rift Herald charging off right there, doing a decent amount of damage to the secondary turret as well. Ssumday on the Aatrox field, very good. It is 100 Thieves that also gets the first turret in the game. We talked about them, this being the time to make your stand, get back up through the standings here. This game is looking like it's set up so well for them to actually do that and convert. Plus, they have the easier composition to execute with a lead like this. Sivir speed boost with Jarvan, Aatrox, Alistar charging forward to find the engagement.
5 plates top lane. A lot of money onto Ssumday. He's obviously massively ahead. 2,100 gold over his lane opponent. And Broken Blade counterpicked. They knew it was Aatrox. He picked the Riven, said, I got this one, don't worry about it. First gank that was turned around, it turned into a red buff for Ssumday, and he never looked back. And being behind on Riven, very hard to be useful.
All right, Dragon coming up. Let's see if 100 Thieves can use their lead effectively here, because TSM are poking around this Mountain Drake. They don't have teleport on Riven though, so I don't think Broken Blade is going to move. And it should be an easy dragon for 100 Thieves to take as long as they take their time.
And spawns a couple of zombie wards. He takes away more of the vision, and seems like a full court press still. 100 Thieves in a really good spot in this game. Iceborne Gauntlet Manamune done, but IE is a good spot to be in for Sivir. It's more of an aggressive damage item, but less infinite mana for the wave clear. And I still like the Ricochet Clue for Fever, but he's going for the high damage. Oh, that was a little bit close.
Sometimes you can get a little antsy too as a jungler if you see a skill shot come through.
Give it away.
Accident, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen here though. Nocturne coming up through the river. Maybe Akaadian goes for something. Scuttle Crab should be picked up, but Ssumday's at his turret. It's Aatrox, so no opening there.
Yep.
TSM still kind of reeling after that early game.
So the CSD correcting itself to what he really deserves to have as he knocks down the wave. And yeah, massive lead here in the top side. The teams overall, 2,500 gold apart. Sorry, 3,500 gold apart. So most of that lead is just in top lane. The rest of the map fairly close. Big damage to Bjergsen, stays alive through it though and jumps back over. And that's why you buy Merc Treads in that matchup, so you don't get one shot.
Able to slip out. But because they force Bjergsen back to the fountain, everyone else can rotate down to the bottom turret and collect outer turret number 2. Next minion wave.
Yeah. Well, right now Zven's holding back, and yeah, they're fully recalling. So it looks like Bang's gonna get solo gold on this one. He's gonna feel good about this as aggressive boards ensure there's no ganks coming through, and there is nothing that Akaadian can really do about this one. His ult turns the lights off, but there's vision all across the map, and he's spotted coming in. So there's the kill on the turret. Gold lead now 4,000. 100 Thieves absolutely smashing the early team.
Interesting what repercussions this is going to have for our playoff race as Golden Guardians kind of push themselves a little bit above the rest with their win earlier today. And now 100 Thieves looking to climb as well.
Yeah, they'll match CLG in 7th-ish right now, as there's several teams yet to play. We'll see what happens with these squads, but the Golden Guardians have moved up and above. 100 Thieves joining the middle pack with the win here. TSM approaching that 4th place spot, maybe lower, with 6 games to play, including this one. Teams within reach.
And when examining 100 Thieves, a lot of people were curious why they had started this season. Well, never mind.
They're going to look at the mid lane right now. He's trying to run away, and yes, Sivir will stay alive. Now round 2, a nice step up Pulverize, but an even better chomp as Smoothie keeps him alive. Now Aphromoo got to be careful. Will choose to burn Flash instead of burning the ultimate. He thought that the chain of damage would be too much for him, and keeps the R alive for a team fight later on.
Yeah, definitely a risky re-engage right there with just Jarvan and Alistar. But 100 Thieves don't lose a member. Some critical cooldowns and summoner spells going through on the bottom lane, though. Bang, double summoners blown on that Sivir does give a target for TSM. You always want to track your priority target. And now the Sivir, a very low mobility champion. She's got no dashes left.
Pretty standard aggressive build here for Ssumday. Has the Youmuu's, puts it on for the move speed. Good damage on a broken Blade Spear. Sojin going to turn it back around. And Aphromoo are here, but Riven is on the run. Reinforcements behind him. And they're going to find the knockup. The dunk as well. He's going to try to buy some time. Trying to jump away, can't do it. Ssumday finds his second kill of the game, and Broken Blade is down again.
And it's actually 100 Thieves that get to pick off the kill on the side lane versus the Tahm Kench Nocturne team. Now Bang in the mid lane as well, just whittles down this turret. 100 Thieves righting so many wrongs from this season.
Yeah. It's been the side lanes, though, doing their work. Soligo has certainly been holding up against Bjergsen, but it just feels like the rest of the squad is suddenly playing back to the level you assume. And I think was one of the better junglers in North America. It was his coordination was something that was lacking. That first thing actually works out well. Bang and Aphromoo able to get around the map and do good things on top of that.
Yeah, he's there to counter the Nocturne all in. They get the early kill. Ssumday effectively snowballs off that. Once again, I do want to highlight that when we picked out the wards through the red side jungle, that's an important step in that. Aphromoo recalls, he invades with Anda, they get 3 wards down in the red side jungle to allow Ssumday this extra confidence and extra information with which, to press his advantage versus the Riven. But as we were saying earlier, when people were examining this 100 Thieves team, they were wondering why they didn't kind of rely on a later game carry from Bang and the shot calling from Aphromoo kind of changing over the course of last year to this year. This game, with the successful early start, it seems like they do have a very clear path this time around. And they have been executing very effectively. Mid-turret will be the next target, with a Mountain Drake coming up as well. So maybe
wow. That's likely to pay off later on in this game. They've got the first 2, and it means the third one's going to be killed pretty quickly. 100 Thieves going to clear away that mid lane ward, clear away the mid lane minions on top of that one. Bang without Ezreal, probably not going to spam Q to kill the backline. He'll simply wait for the auto attacks and static shift. And that's the choice you have to make when you don't go for the mana regen. Clearing away some more wards top side as they spot this control ward, and it forces Bjergsen away.
Yeah, you see this movement right here is exactly what you don't want as the split pushing team. If you don't start out with this early lead, then your split push doesn't have threat. Riven is pushed in. There's no counter pressure on the map. You have to pressure multiple areas at the same time. That's why it's so hard to pull off. It requires quite a lot of coordination, but it also requires that extra lead and that threat to be able to threaten one of those side lanes. Right now, Bjergsen finally pushing up that minion wave as well as Broken Blade, so they'll have a little bit of a window to work with, but it's going to be used for a reset because 100 Thieves have too much of a lead.
And look at all those zombie wards you just saw. There's one in the river, 2 over in TSM's jungle. That's all wards that Anda helped kill over the last 25 seconds or so. He and Aphromoo, you mentioned them together before. They're just running through the map in a pair, saying, okay, well, top lane's pushed, cool, we'll clear those wards away. Mid lane's pushed, all right, into the red jungle we go. And just removing vision over and over for TSM. There is not a lot of vision for this poor red team right now. They've got a ward on Baron, otherwise it's their lanes.
Definitely a lot more focus and control from 100 Thieves in this game than we have seen for most of the season.
And we'll see if it's a one-off or it's a sign of things to come. TSM, a victory against them could be the start of the comeback that puts them into playoff position. Right now, they're on the outside looking in. Even a win here wouldn't put them in the spot just yet. They've got to keep doing well. Here comes the fight for this Mountain Drake. Should be completely clean. Looks like no one's even around. They're all behind the river on TSM's side. Mountain Drake number 3. That's the one that's pretty useful when you're ahead. It can get you those Baron rushes, or at worst, just damage on the turret when you're pushing.
Okay. You still have 0 towers for the split push Nocturne Tahm Kench team for TSM. Bjergsen trying to chip away at this turret, but even that, he's not going to have enough time. Full reset from 100 Thieves gets them item purchases. They're coming in powerful, and they're back out on the field already.
Well, a little bit of damage in top lane, but not willing to stay from any more auto attacks. Goes in for a little bit now. 100 Thieves still sit at about 5,000 gold ahead. Now, a sizable lead to be sure, just one that hasn't grown too quickly over the last several minutes. Hasn't been a fight just yet. Still stacking up. Ezreal doing the same. Mina Mooney's already done. Archangel Staff is, well, about halfway there. And we can see the gold graph. It's been a steady, reasonable growth, actually. It has been maybe not quite the same slope as earlier, but they've really not let up. They've still been able to pick up more minions, more turrets, more everything. So really, really solid control right now for 100 Thieves.
And until they let one of these towers fall, I don't feel like there's going to be an opening here for TSM. You can see Nocturne hovering behind the LeBlanc. Tahm Kench is right next to Ezreal, just trying to be there for the Devour, for the safety. But they just cannot get any momentum on this side of the map. It's now a Guardian Angel completed for Ssumday, and Aatrox has the run of bottom lane.
Down goes that bottom scuttle. We'll see which twin respawns next. But yeah, if 100 Thieves ever get rid of the vision, they know that Baron can die in the blink of an eye, in that active play of using those Drakes to do something unorthodox or something that you can't always do, at least not that quickly. Might matter a bit later on. Wards still waiting to be swept away, though. TSM doing a good job of getting wards back into the pit.
Yeah, and the timing is a little desynced on the side waves. So for 100 Thieves, the way they crack this one open is they have their Syndra topside push that wave at the same time that Ssumday kills his, and they both throw mid to brute force this tower. Previously, we just saw Ssumday do his. He roamed up by himself. It wasn't enough to get the tower. Now, 4 members have grouped up. They're trying to use the Demolish to finish it off, and Aphro does get it.
You mentioned the bot lane pushing right now. 4,000 gold is Ssumday's lead over his opponent. It's actually ludicrous. It's 11K to 7K. It's 11 and change. It's actually obnoxious. So Ssumday, I feel like, should have complete control at all times. 2-level lead, Guardian Angel done. You can see Broken Blade try to catch up by taking things like the Stromp. That's very smart of him to do. But there's that lane being pushed. Soligo actually does get a bit of damage dealt to him right now. Him versus Bjergsen, a bit closer of a matchup. It's actually Bjergsen sided by about 20 gold. He's going to try right now. Ignite is on. Gets the chain. Here comes Nocturne, a sign of life. But here comes the re-engage. TSM has a Tahm Kench, though, and suddenly there are all 5 there. Aphromoo has to burn the flash. Ssumday going to get over that wall and stay alive, but will there be a re-engage? Heal is burned. The jump in for Ezreal. Headbutts for some space. Riven's nearby. They're going to try, and they will just barely knock down that cow. 2 for 0. TSM shows signs of life.
They're finally able to use their Nocturne, use their Tahm Kench to make a side lane play. They kill the Syndra, they get the chase down on Aphromoo, and this is a small window TSM were hoping for.
It took long enough that they found that opening just there, and they got little bits of extra gold. None of them were really shutdowns, though. They weren't the ones getting CS or the kills, so it's just
literally
900
the only
gold.
2 that didn't have
the
them,
only 2. The only 2, and they got those picked up. We can watch that fight one more time.
All right, here's another look. Now, 100 Thieves look like they're expecting some sort of play up here too, as Anda and Bang were coming up the river. But this time around, Soligo not able to live through the LeBlanc plus Nocturne damage. And that means that all of the defenses for 100 Thieves that arrived to try and collapse once again, as they had done in the first 2 plays, actually get chased down. And Aphromoo, despite trying to make some creative plays, headbutting over to the blue buff, still gets chased down, get the extra kill for TSM. And that is good money in their pockets. But as you said, it doesn't really change the state of the game right now or the paths for each team.
As it keeps happening, unless it really does slow down. We saw this kind of really for 100 Thieves. It feels like they are a team that sometimes gets completely disjointed in the end game, and TSM often able to make those late game comebacks. But here comes the attempt right now. Triple Mountain Drake.
JK!
But TSM, I feel like, are really good at getting their wards back onto that wall. They are behind horribly in gold and map pressure, and they have managed to keep that Baron in vision for 7 minutes now.
All right, 100 Thieves trying to clear some out. Have something to say about it as they move through the red jungle. There is a dragon coming up as well. We can't have any more mountains, as all 3 have been taken up already, so this one will be an ocean.
Notion's a good one for doing Baron baits. You just regen through it. They're all non-combat. They all turn off when you fight champions 1-on-1 or 5-on-5 or any other number configuration for that matter, but it does help you do Baron baits, and that's still the map telling you the way to play it as they keep just stealing 75 gold from TSM as they knock down the control wards.
Oh, one more.
Bjergsen's gonna try. Not gonna find the stun, but does get damage to Soligo, who's now at about 2/3 health.
Meanwhile, Ssumday gonna finish up this dragon. Even with Scryer's Bloom Vision being given over, there's no way Broken Blade wants to take that fight. Once again, he's still so far behind. He has been able to complete the Death Stance in addition to the Spear of Sojin, which does give him some more burst potential once you activate your ultimate, but it's just too hard with Aatrox. Guardian Angel and ult revive that you have to get through. He's down 2 levels.
And 4,500 gold. The lead's actually bigger than last time, and TSM won a fight. This is definitely a difficult road ahead. Nice ult, just after half HP. Ezreal spots what's going on here. Once again, the attempt. Tahm Kench shows up as well, and you've got a lot of members around here. Both top laners kind of far apart, and again, with this lead being 4,000 gold, all of it is the Aatrox. The actual 4-on-4 is not so bad, but the 1-on-1 certainly is, and Broken Blade is trying to run away. He's trying to make this thing not a death. He does get over the wall. That's pretty nice. Death Dance burn happens, has to burn the flash. But I want to reinforce the 4-on-4 is actually a gold lead for TSM. Ssumday is the 100 Thieves lead here.
Jeez, it's crazy to just imagine the large sacks of gold that are on Ssumday, considering how disproportionate this distribution is. Look at those numbers. That is such a lopsided map. Bang pretty close, with Sivir being a very good spot to have a lot of your extra gold.
Yep.
To try and carry those team fights, but man, Ssumday, you can see him on the minimap during that. He was waiting in the brush for Broken Blade to come try and join the Baron fight. He jumps on him there, and it's only through some quick sidesteps that Broken Blade is able to sneak his way out of there. He knows that he cannot take a 1v1 with Ssumday.
Well, under Thieves to play this one smart. They are bigger targets than TSM are right now. Gold lead remains, and you can still see Broken Blade having to just lick his wounds. He's only got the 1 death. He is not hemorrhaged too much of the map either, despite the giant deficit. He's just trying to catch up in XP, staying that 2-level deficit down. Ssumday is now 18. He won't gain XP anymore, so holding pattern actually does benefit TSM in that regard.
Oh, they're going to get their first turret.
Nope.
No, it's the second turret.
Their first turret on the top
Trick
lane.
question.
There it is. Jumps forward. Bjergsen gets it. 500 gold. Bring the game a little bit closer. And Bjergsen is still the one who's actually leading his matchup here. Actually ahead of Soligo. As Syndra clears out the wave, and Bjergsen just knocks down them the same. But this stalling helps TSM so much. Gunblade is now done. Seraph's completed. 100 Thieves, if they do not leverage Ssumday, or they don't find a really good team fight with him, they have given away all the advantages.
Yeah, I mean, TSM, the one thing they have had in this game over 100 Thieves is the extra mobility and the threat of the Tahm Kench and Nocturne collapsing, the LeBlanc, this burst potential. And it's that threat has been enough, to hold this game for them. See if they can actually pull the comeback off, though. 100 Thieves still have triple Mountain Dragon, backed with the Ocean regen. It's basically the best Baron-taking combo of dragons.
Oh, Broken Blade. Gonna spot out Ssumday. This is still a difficult 1v1 for the Riven, though, with a 4,000 gold deficit. They're gonna try, though, and actually good damage. Puts the shield across. Now a team out of the mid side. They're gonna find Zven. He's gone!
Oh.
Right away, Ezreal is dead, and now Broken Blade must run. He's against all of them. Ssumday pops the ult. He's trying to chase in. Broken Blade does not get knocked up just yet. Still finds some good damage, and Ssumday just cannot run him down. So a lot of space bought by the Riven, but Zven is still dead.
You have the extra mobility there of Riven. Broken Blade getting out once again. Zven ended up very deep in the 100 Thieves composition, though. Didn't see how he got picked off at the very beginning. That is a huge kill. Thankfully for TSM, it's a teleport Ezreal, so they have to just try and stall, but it's actually against a triple mountain team. I don't know if you've got 15 seconds.
Well, Akaadian is going to try. He's on the other side of the wall in that brush with the ward in it. Bjergsen goes for some damage, and they know the blast cone, the flash, the ult, all those tools are available. Can they somehow bait Akaadian out? Can they kill him, or can they rush the Baron? And 100 Thieves, are they willing to risk it? They're going to try Akaadian! He does indeed get it! It's not even a one-way trip. He flashes back over the wall, and 100 Thieves have let the game slip.
with the dagger to the heart of 100 Thieves. Akaadian. Nocturne ultimate into the Bears pit, secures the kill, and gets out with the flash. Are you kidding me? TSM find the last outer turret after it as well. What a crushing blow here to turn this game back around.
Of course, the gold is not all gone just yet, but it still feels like momentum is in their favor. They have cut the gold lead in half. They know this Cloud Drake is on. They can start tacking on neutral objectives.
Definitely a huge blow to the morale here for 100 Thieves. Let's see how they handle it. They need to stay strong. As I said, they still have the gold lead. A lot of it is Ssumday, this Aatrox. But 100 Thieves also have to recognize that they need to be extremely careful. There are 2,000 gold bounties on this team, plus a 600 gold bounty for Jarvan. If they now lose those kills, then it is going to be devastating. Here's another look at the beta round. Baron, it's at 2,000 health, and then with that auto, as a Shiv auto, breaks it down into range for TSM, jump over the back. Bjergsen bursts it down. Then Akaadian goes in. Wow, that was actually incredibly close combo.
Smite auto does it for the Nocturne. There was no smite for Anda.
Yeah.
Down about 1,000 health, it was smite auto. It was at 79 after smite, and he hit it with an auto attack. Maybe the Q, I couldn't tell exactly what, but it was Nocturne who got the kill after the smite. And that's how they never pressed the button. I feel like I've seen that before. It was in the earlier series, but now Ssumday, the man with the lead, forced to ult and run away, popping Yoma's Ghost Plate.
That's pretty big. We talked about in the last game that we saw, Aatrox without the ultimate loses so much threat, and TSM with this Baron buff continue to chip away at that gold lead. Now, this is the best tool for a split comp to use. They've got Bjergsen in mid lane, bottom lane able to secure that tower as well. And they still have a minute to work with. 2 more minion waves.
Yep. Now, Sivir and Syndra, 2 of the absolute queens of wave clear. They can threaten you if you try to dive them. They can kite away if you do the same. And they are very good at evaporating minion waves. And now the ult, they're going to look for Zven once again. He does not have flash, and the Arcane Shift is burned. And it does not go for the flash stun, but the team is still coming around. There it is. There's the play. Arcane Shift was back up, though. Syndra finds the stun. There is not a way out for Zven. That's the kill picked up, and Soligo is on the board. Didn't have the way out, but a kill for a turret. That's kind of reasonable here, as more of the base drops than TSM are up in turrets.
TSM still with the Baron buff are able to push that turret down. 100 Thieves now pushing mid lane, but TSM should be able to reset. They've got Baron-empowered recalls. 100 Thieves on this cannon, trying to get to that inhibitor. And doesn't look like a defense is on the way. Question mark ping's actually going down.
Aatrox is far away, though. He does have TP, not using it. Potential 4-on-4, but without Ezreal, a lot of your damage is gone. Team fight won. Turret's going to be gone. Still 15 seconds on the Ezreal, and that's the first half of the LeBlanc combo gone. It will be that falling. And the first inhib will go back to 100 Thieves. They will stop the bleeding somewhat, keep the game within 3,000.
Yeah, 100 Thieves showing some resolve there, and they make a commitment up the mid lane, taking back a turret as well as the inhibitor. That is a huge difference.
So once again, clear out the map, catch your gold, look for vision. You've got a while to go until the next major objectives come up. Baron buff is gone, Elder Dragon in 2 minutes, Baron in about 3.
Aatrox is also capped out on items, capped out on levels. Ssumday, unless he starts selling off pieces for marginal upgrades, doesn't really increase in power here. But there is also a huge drawback. If he dies, he gives over a huge amount of gold to the enemy team. You have to be very, very careful. I think 100 Thieves might want to play to their strengths with the group. Sivir speed once again. They know that they can try and brute force. Because they've got this inhibitor down, the super minion in mid lane is a lot to work with.
And of course, we've seen Ssumday now caught up in levels by a broken blade, managed to not get picked off anymore. And that can be really hard, playing Riven from behind. I know from watching solo queue, my teammates, not good at playing Riven from behind. So, broken blade confirmed better than Plat 2 players. No one's surprised here.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, thanks, Phreak. Yeah, just made sure that you were all aware.
One of the great questions.
He's pretty good at League of Legends, turns out. Despite what the landing phase looked like in the start, he's pretty good at this one, and we still wait for the next objectives coming up. You can see about a minute on both these, and actually still want to point out that again, an objective trade 1-for-1 probably still favors Thieves because it's a better Elder Dragon and a fairly weak one for TSM. I would take either one on the blue team side. And if they can force a trade, that's probably good for them.
I think 100 Thieves also would like to mirror whichever objective TSM would opt for. So all the power is in 100 Thieves' hands because they're the ones with the solid 5-on-5. TSM have to use their mobility here to split, trade across the map. And 100 Thieves, they've got kind of the extra trump card of the Mountain Drakes, allowing them to deal with one of these objectives so quickly.
Oh, he knew Aphromoo was there. Oh my word!
Yikes.
Scryer's Bloom, he didn't know it, I think.
Let's see that again. I need this, because you definitely know when the pixie dust is on your head. Yeah, definitely saw it.
Oh no, that's gonna be painful. And now we've got the attempt though, this Elder Dragon rush, and this could be really good.
They never expected a solo it after your support was just killed and you're in a 5v4 situation. Ssumday with the triple mountains is doing so much damage to him. Bjergsen might find him. Is he gonna go in there?
Oh, he doesn't see it just yet. Time's gonna run out. It's gonna be the Elder Dragon picked up in a 4v5. Over the wall they go. They might lose an inhibitor, but not even that. Broken Blade's gonna back up before the team shows up. That's huge. I would take that trade every time.
Classic Galaxy Brain from North America's shot caller Aphromoo. Sits on the ward, dies to the LeBlanc, only to set up a play here for Ssumday to solo Dragon. Now though,
this gets tight. 2 minutes on the Elder Dragon buff, and I feel like any team fight is won because of that burn. So 100 Thieves should just force around this Baron. Take any battle they'll give you, and you probably win it. The game is slipping away. You have to play a little bit desperately here. They're going to try right now, and they know they do good damage. Akaadian has Smite, he has Flash, he has Zolt.
Smites almost don't even matter when this much damage is dealt to Baron per chunk. With all these mountains magnified by Elder, they're going for the placement!
And they're gonna try this one. 3 doesn't help. Gonna get over the wall. It's picked up this time by Anda. But look at the half of the base. Look at the siege in the bottom corner. They're gonna try to get the recalls off with Baron. They might be able to pull back 1 or 2, but the minions are there. The turrets are falling, and it's this time around. TSM must run away. The flash chase. Bang is gonna try, but cannot get Zven just yet. He was burning. They're still trying. That ult is there, but the Iceborne Gauntlet will slow him down. TSM will get a turret. They get the inhibitor, but the objectives, the neutrals, they go to 100 Thieves.
I'm liking the split push games today, Phreak. Once again, one team trying to chip away at the other team's base while the objective is being taken, but with the Baron-empowered recalls, 100 Thieves get back for defense. They chase TSM off of the base, and it is 1 inhibitor each. Now, TSM's inhibitor respawns in 30 seconds here in the mid lane, yet they'll retain super minions in the bottom lane. The main thing they have to deal with is this powerful team fight of the 5-on-5 composition backed by double big buffs here. Elder Dragon as well as Baron.
The timer is desynced enough that 100 Thieves will not get they will not have Baron buff on when the second Elder spawns. They can't play around that buff's timing. They have to use the buffs they have now to push their champions up and get more done. That's going to be 1 turret gone. 20 seconds of global double buff.
There's no defense here. This thing is going to melt like paper. Baron buff and Elder Dragon, that thing is gone.
Turret's definitely gone. You don't fight for the inhib if the turret's gone as well, especially with these buffs on, but you do have LeBlanc kind of sitting on the flank. Damage towards Soligo, but not pushing him off. They got to get those hits in, but they don't finish the inhibitor. Despite the buffs, they're actually pushed back by TSM. Elder Dragon timer now ending, but they should have 2 more auto attacks as needed. There we go. Bang knocks that one down. Will there be a second fight, though? Money in the pockets. Mid inhibitor, of course, laid open as well. Ssumday gonna jump over the wall and waiting for the fight. Will there be one? Akaadian waiting in the wings. Second inhib will drop. TSM gonna give this one away, and still 1.5 minutes on the Baron buff. Do you fight against it, or do you wait and simply wave clear and farm inside your own base? 100 Thieves splitting up a little bit. Somebody sitting in the brush, waiting. Ezreal gonna spot them.
Bang 50%, no flash on the Sivir either. Does have heal.
Broken Blade trying to be scary. Slowed down, though he's fine.
2 inhibitors taken in that swipe from 100 Thieves, though. Huge, huge objective. Bjergsen.
Okay, just some damage. Knocks down the Banshee's Veil for the pending fight. Still 1 minute on Baron. Both bottom inhibitors are dead, so they're going to match waves regardless. The only difference is mid.
They need to get to that top side of the map. If you Baron buff up that giant minion wave, they got 50 seconds to get this double stacked wave into the base. Supers are going down both other lanes. Okay. 100 Thieves just need to all group as 5 and take this slowly.
40 seconds, and TSM cannot give up triple inhib or they will lose the Elder Dragon and lose the game. They have to fight for this, I feel like.
Bjergsen
in the front line of Ssumday, Bjergsen and Akaadian waiting for a backlaner to kill the turret at 5 HP. That's going to go down, and Broken Blade isn't really in. Damage on Aphromoo, but no one killed in the backline. Soligo finds a stun towards Bjergsen. Here's Nocturne ult. They're going to go for some kind of kills. They've dived towards Smoothie. No one's dead just yet, and Bang is safe. Waiting for the ricochets. Not going to drop. There's a nice stun, though. They might fight Anda. They're going to get the shutdown. 5v4. The floodgates are open. Damage, but not a kill onto Bjergsen. And the chase might continue. Will they find a way to knock down 100 Thieves? Broken Blade on the front line, trading with Ssumday's ultimate. Akaadian, spell shield's gonna be fine. He's okay, and Zven finds a slow. The flash, but a nice chomp by Smoothie. It's still a 5v4, and out goes the Aatrox. Will there be another re-engage? That answer is no. It will be defense right now. The inhibitor still alive in the Dragon in 1.5 minutes.
Bjergsen went back to try and clear out the minions that were on the Nexus turret. That's why Ssumday turned it around to try and attack them with Aatrox. Doesn't get the knockup on that first long Q, though, and they don't chase anyone down. TSM barely hold on to one inhibitor.
And take a look at the map state. Elder respawns when the inhib does, but not for TSM. Well, watch that fight again.
All right, Bjergsen on the top side, flanking in. They've used the Nocturne ultimate to cover this. And you can see during the Nocturne ultimate, there's a very big split here from 100 Thieves, leaving Anda on the Jarvan very deep in TSM territory. TSM not overextending. They don't lose any member in that threat on the side, but 100 Thieves still very happy about the state of the map.
Yep.
Top inhibitor is open, bot and mid both still down for a good duration.
And specifically, 100 Thieves bot inhib respawns when the Elder Dragon does. So a Dragon Dance will just give them map control. The chance at maybe pushing in for the base or simply forcing a wave clear out of TSM, this still should look good unless the next minute and a half is a standstill. TSM wave clears and can play the map on an equal state.
All right, can they do it? So many lines of super minions to clear out to buy enough time for that respawn. Bjergsen and Ssumday both stake claim in their respective brush.
Oh, he's gonna jump in. He's got the chain. They've got Nocturne.
Whoa.
They've got the kill. That was huge. And it's a 5v4. Will there be a re-engage? They've got Ssumday kind of picked off. They find that first stun. Broken Blade diving forward, and the Elder Dragon is alive. But the minions will push in the favor for 100 Thieves, mid and bot. So again, a bait, a long time duration stop will help with map control. 4v5 to stop this Elder Dragon. Smite up for Anda.
Bjergsen's going around.
Good damage. Chunks Ssumday to half HP. Dragon resets once, still at 10,000 health.
TSM don't have time. Look at those super minions. They're headed towards the base.
100 Thieves have the options. They're going to send
Ssumday
towards mid. It's got to be a force. We know Anda's going to wait around with Aphromoo to try to go for the steal, but Broken Blade is pushing him out. Can he find the flag and drag? He's not going to get it. It's going to Akaadian, but this will still be a kill, and they're walking into mid. Bjergsen must stop them now. They've got minions on two sides. Can they kill the turret in time? They might stop the TPs. They only get one. 2-on-2, but the Elder Dragon will help TSM fight. They have found Bang. They will try to kill him. They get the stun, the fear, and the Guardian Angel. And it's time for round 2. Here's the Q. The spell shield buys a second, but not more than that. There's the shutdown. Aphromoo running into Portal Combat. He'll get away, but TSM have control.
All right, they've navigated the first big test, Phreak, but Baron is the final of this test. This is still on the field. 100 Thieves still have triple mountains, and TSM are still trying to clear all these super minions out. The inhibitors are only respawning right now.
Ssumday, the only guy with teleport, he cannot bring his teammates with him like we saw earlier in Korea this
they're
week.
actually burning it down.
Instead, it's this Baron rushdown. Anda is still dead, and Ssumday's a bit far away, but Zven takes some shots. They've got to be careful. They know that Soligo has damage. Inhibs are back up. Here comes a team fight. Here comes a TP. A 5-on-4 as Anda is not here, and it's being burned down. There is no smite. That is an easy pickup right there. Spoiler alert, it goes to Akaadian. Several smites to him now. TSM in control assuredly now.
Oh my goodness, TSM get both big neutral objectives off of the map, being down 2 inhibitors and still saving their top.
And as the minions are cleared, TSM have a very big power play. 45 seconds on double buff, another 2 minutes past that with just the Baron. Now they do have injured Nexus turrets, but the inhibitors are there to give them a bit of a buffer. It will be hard to backdoor TSM's whole base. You can see how much control 100 Thieves had, 5,500, and it's been slipping away, steadily going TSM's favor for a while.
Yeah, TSM just navigated the most deadly point in the game. So incredibly scary when you've got those super minions. There's just no time to work with. You have to make your decision and commit to it. They're able to get it. They tried to chase Anda off. Akaadian hitting clutch smites in this game.
Yeah.
Secure them some objectives, have got them back into it.
Yeah, 100 Thieves have probably won this game if Akaadian did not steal that first Baron away. With how the rest of this played out, that probably would have been enough to have knocked down the Nexus earlier. And that's definitely a big one here. Now TSM playing with the lead. Dragon buff is gone. 2 minutes on Baron, but the minion waves are starting to get into position. Nocturne in mid, the rest of the squad near the bot lane. Open inhibitor. This is likely to drop. 100 Thieves, can they fight for it? Sivir can wave through, that will help, but these minions pretty tanky against champion damage. It's slow to kill them. And the wave still pushes forward. And we wait as Nocturne still sits in mid. He can always ult into the fight, so he's happy to play this. Goes to the knockup. Nice ult comes through for Anda, but Zven back is Smoothie. Not a problem there. And it's not anything at all. It's going to be Ssumday not finding his way in. He's instead the Guardian Angel down. Goes to revive, almost shut down Pup, sealed a little bit afterwards. Look now at Anda. Not quite the chain, but still a lot of damage. That's going to be the open inhibitor. That's going to be TSM taking control of the base, knocking down that bottom lane.
Yep, that one's going to be dead, and they're also rotating up to mid to finish off that turret. Inhibitor number 2 in their sights.
100 Thieves have healed, but it's going to be enough time for TSM to back right out, sit on their 6,000 gold lead, knock down 2 inhibs, and play for that Elder when it respawns.
What a reversal of fortune we've seen here in this game.
Well, that's risky. That's risky. He knows he has E, but still, there's always a chance something goes wrong.
Yeah, and when you're in a almost 50-minute game,
You lose the game if you respawn that
those
late.
type of moments get everybody's heart beating. These are the moments when we're facing these huge calls of the team. Do we back? Do we go for Baron? Do we go for Elder Dragon? Super minions are knocking at the door.
Yep.
Where it really tests that communication and it tests your conviction in following these calls.
One thing I must point out is Bang's build, Phantom Dancer, does not stack alongside that Maw of Mortius. You should change that into something else for more damage.
Both lifelines.
They're both lifelines, but now we've got to fight towards Broken Blade. A flash for Ssumday, trying to E over the wall, still hit by Bjergsen though. No GA, no ult! And that pick means so much at 50 minutes. 5v4, 2 dead inhibitors, no neutrals up, it's only the base to target.
This has to be TSM moving straight down mid. Oh, they're actually sending Nocturne up top to get those minions?
They're playing the long con, I suppose. They know they have a full minute to play with. A full minute to knock down what they want.
Oof.
They are pushing in mid.
All right, they're gonna play the slow game there. Push on the top side while keeping pressure at the Nexus turrets.
I think this is actually right. I mean, without Baron buff, that wave always gets one shot by Sivir. It always gets one shot by Sivir, so they're saying, okay,
very true.
We've still got 35 seconds. He's pushing as fast as he can. The minions are running as quickly as they possibly can. We'll go for the top inhib at the very tail end of the respawn. 28 seconds now on Aatrox. Triple inhib, though, nearly guarantees the second Elder Dragon for TSM. 50 minutes in.
TSM should be able to finish off this turret before Ssumday revives on the Aatrox.
15 seconds, and there they are. 5v4, turrets given. 10 seconds, inhib should be given away as well. 5v4, you do not fight for. Triple inhibitor now favors TSM, and it will remain that way through both Elder and Baron spawning. And now they push on. They know Elder's in 15 seconds. They know the minions will be their 6th man to keep map control and vision. You'll see them as they come through the lanes. And a couple of wards help TSM see them as they come through the river. And the jungle. Zven actually somewhat spotted by this, actually. He knows he walked by. Yep, that's the kind of damage he can deal. Drops off the Banshee's Veil.
All right, Dragon started up here. Akaadian going to be able to DPS this one down. 100 Thieves are pinned in their base, so there's nothing they can do about it. This is mostly so TSM can deny it for any possible 100 Thieves take, but a second Elder Dragon, actually, even with one Elemental Drake, is significant.
Yeah.
We've actually been in this game. This is now the longest LCS game of this split. A second Elder Dragon is taken by TSM. And after this reset, you gotta believe. Well, actually, Baron's coming up next. 40 seconds for it.
Yep. They're gonna overlap pretty easily. They don't have to go for both, but I think they probably will, because nothing else to wait for. You might as well take both objectives and make it happen. You've got about a minute and a half of double buffs across the whole team. several hundred damage in the burn. Each dragon you kill, including Elder, does count towards the stack. That's why I say it's a 5-stack Elder when there's 4 elementals. It's a 3-stack double Elder on the TSM side. And we wait to see. It's Bjergsen finding some damage, and Ssumday's at half, and he's even got Ma. He's got MR items, and that's the kind of damage he deals.
This LeBlanc, Bjergsen, time and time again, huge burst damage, coming up, making big plays for TSM. There's nothing on 100 Thieves that's really point and click CC to keep him in place. We've seen Soligo on the Syndra try and land his stuns. You know, Aphromoo on the Alistar tries to get a combo, but Bjergsen has been so slippery. The TSM will get the Baron, so they will come knocking at the door. All inhibitors down, Elder Dragon buff on, Baron buff on, looking to take the victory.
Oh, and I forgot, Elder Dragon buff lasts twice as long the second time around, so you've got a full 3.5 minutes of the strongest comparatively you will be on TSM. This is the window to close the game out. This is everything you could ever get in this game. And they're going now through the top lane. Both sets of inhibs are down still. 25 on bot, 30 on mid, but they can just simply push through here as the whole team separates. They find the knockup, though. They found an opening in a broken blade, and they will knock down the Guardian Angel, but wait, the base is under fire. They've got to re-engage topside. The turret a little bit low, broken blade back up, looking for the fight, but not killing the frontliner just yet. They find another knockup, though. Riven's got to get right back out, and the inhibitors are respawning. 5 seconds on bot, 10 on mid, and TSM can wait. They can get it next time around. The second wave is buffed up. Broken blade can TV back in a bot lane, and he will do so.
All right,
waiting now to knock down this next turret. One auto from Ezreal would kill it. Not in range just yet, but the minions do all the work anyway. Inhibitors gonna be dropping the Nexus, an easy target as well. Aphromoo is burning, and it's a 5v5, but barely, as 2 of them are so low, they can barely stand on their own 2 legs. Broken blade in the front line, and a bit low. Zven feels healthy. That's the ulti down out of the Aatrox. The push continues. The buffs are still on. This could be the fight to end it right now. The ult for Nocturne out of the Nexus. They don't even need champions. TSM gonna win.
Woo, TSM with the comeback.
Yeah.
The early game was all 100 Thieves favored. Akaadian comes up with a big Baron Steel Smite, multiple Barons after that, and Elder Dragons after that. TSM finally end the game.
Yes.
With no defense left from 100 Thieves, taking everything in the base, everything on the map.
TSM are now 2 games behind second place, but they do lose the head-to-head to Cloud9. They must make up 3 games in order to take that bye. On the 100 Thieves side, though, they are now alone in last place at 4-9. And just like their loss last Sunday, where they just gave up the base, no one died when the Nexus died. TSM walked past them and killed their Nexus, and 100 Thieves did nothing to stop them. This feels like they're still giving up a lot of control. They threw away their mid-game as well. I want to see them still find something to turn their season around, because it is still going downhill. But either way, to break down how that game finished, let's send it over to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Phreak. You said it pretty well there. TSM kind of just ran past 100 Thieves at the end of the game to finish it off with no deaths before the Nexus falls. But continued struggles for this 100 Thieves squad as they bring in the sub in the mid lane up against Bjergsen, of all people, to debut against. But whereas C9 got a comeback victory against TSM just last week, it was TSM's turn this time around to dig a hole and then find their way out.
Well, it looks like 100 Thieves is just doing the opposite of Thieves and just being very generous and giving away so many things to the opposing 100
team. Charities.
Yeah, at first they took it from them because they got a huge lead, and then they gave it back because this was like as good of a start as you could hope for. The top lane, I mean, every time I watch TSM have 2v2s in the top lane or anything like that, I feel like they always lose them. There was a flash randomly from Akaadian, and then he spell shielded as opposed to just spell shielding and saving his flash. You also potentially could have Broken Blade flash in. I felt like there were a lot of ways to play that differently, and they just picked the worst ones, and Akaadian dies. And it was from there a big snowball where Ssumday ends up like 4,000
4K up
individually ahead.
With 3 Mountain Drakes, like literally primo win condition right there.
Yeah. And we'll get to some of those Baron shenanigans in a moment, but I also want to take a look at the mid lane, because after that top lane kill, a lot of the focus was transitioned towards the mid lane. Pressure being put on from all sides here on Soligo in his debut against Bjergsen.
Right, and obviously the TSM plan is very clear, right? There's a new sub coming in. He hasn't played an LCS before. We have a LeBlanc Nocturne. Let's camp the heck out of this guy and beat him up, right? But I don't really know what Smoothie is doing here, honestly. He started the downfall of TSM's mid lane here just because, well, what are you really doing there as a Tahm Kench, you know? Like, I would be question mark pinging my support right now if this was a solo queue game, to be honest. And then you gotta cut your losses, guys. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, Onda, good job, all things considered, being in the right places, kind of at the right time to counter a lot of these plays, but it felt like it was equal parts TSM mistakes to good counters as well from 100 Thieves.
Right.
It just continued in the mid.
Soligo actually played really well in the lane phase. Like, he was staying even CS despite all the pressure on him. Like, when you don't have Flash versus LeBlanc Nocturne, it's super scary. So he played these fights well, and he got an advantage for his team, despite being camped.
He had to ult the wrong clone, but hey, panic button as he was getting dove on. I can understand it. And his team collapsed and played around, you know, a pretty obvious win condition, I'd say, from TSM pretty well.
But of course, as we mentioned, that was a look at how 100 Thieves built their lead. Up over 4K, picked up those 3 Mountain Drakes. You've got a substantial gold lead on your split push Aatrox. You have the tools, the dragons necessary to set up around the global objective in the Baron. But that's the step that didn't ever really seem to come to fruition. And Hai, I want to turn to you around how it is that a team should set up around the Baron and what 100 Thieves was missing in that case.
Right, so you can look at this replay and see a few holes in the vision and red forest, right? First off, Jarvan shouldn't be trying to flank LeBlanc. Just come in lane with the Syndra, push out the wave together, and then go into the forest. You don't really want to take that 2v2 in the first place. And in the case Syndra can't be top, just send your Sivir top instead. There's no way LeBlanc beats Sivir, and Syndra can push out mid together. So all you need to do is get your waves pushing, put a ward in each lane, and then ward up the red force and figure out who can do that on the team.
And you know what? That really, I think, highlights exactly what 100 Thieves' problem is. Like, they're playing so reactive. Instead of looking, how can we use our advantages to further win the game? It's, well, what do we know TSM's trying to do? They're trying to go on Syndra. Let's try to bait around and then have them jump us, and then we can counterattack. As opposed to, let's set up the play that we can go for the dive, that we can go for the Baron, we can go set up the assertive play. They didn't do that.
I mean, it was just insane for how long TSM had Baron vision. It felt like for 6 minutes they were in these kind of setups, up a ton of gold, but actually down pressure in the game. Like, Ssumday was not actually doing anything with that 4K lead that was so big. And it led to a situation where it was so obvious that it was going to come down to a 50-50 Baron.
You called it out. 3 minutes before this happens, Mark goes, I'll tell you how the game ends. It's going to be a Baron force.
Second game in a row, the team doing the Baron stops it in combo range. You don't stop it at 2K. Yeah, they can't smite from there, but they have burst mages. So, of course, LeBlanc hops the wall as Nocturne goes in. You can potentially push the Syndra back with the Sivir. You can have the Alistar Hex Flash over the wall in the Nocturne. You have so many ways to prepare for that, and leaving the pit at 2K health is not the answer. That's not it, Chief.
There's so many different ways they could have done that too. I don't know why everyone on their team is scared of Bjergsen. Like, yes, I understand it's LeBlanc, but you have a strong Sivir, a strong Syndra. Just walk into the Baron pit, and if they walk up, hit them when they come in and or punt them out. Like, they win that fight. I don't know if they care that much about their KDA or they don't know the extent of their champion, but you can literally just 4-man into the Baron pit, hide at the edge of it. They walk up, you just kill them and or just punt the Nocturne away. Like, that should be a free Baron.
I mean, I can't help but wonder that it's got to be some communication error. You brought in a lot of new players, a lot of language issues as well. You've got a support that has to speak English and somehow understand Korean, trying to communicate with all these new parts. I can't imagine they have a lot of experience with the new mid laner. And then who's going to take the responsibility for making that play? It should be coming from an individual that has leadership, but if you kind of lost confidence in yourself and in communicating that to your team, it's just going to all go downhill to the worst play every single time.
Yep, so, you know, a kind of poorly set up Baron on the side of 100 Thieves, great capitalization and, you know, wherewithal in the moment to know, hey, they've put it in combo range, so let's commit, let's go over the wall, let's secure that. That's not where the game ended, though. You did call that that's how the game would end, but then we had like
it did go longer than I thought.
It went a little longer than we thought. We had like 17 more skirmishes and fights, multiple Elder Dragons, multiple Barons, and then ultimately TSM comes out with it on top. But I do want to take a look at, is this the right one? Or did we already watch this one?
I think we watched that
Oh, we
one,
already
right?
watched that one. Boom.
We can
That's
stop
how many
it.
there were.
If
I was
you
like,
want-
yeah, let's watch the next Baron steal.
If you want, we can stop talking about this game. Because if you want me to, I can rant about the builds. I can rant.
Rant!
Well,
Baby, rant!
we should give some credit to TSM for
Yes.
playing that well. Despite Broken Blade falling super far behind, you still saw him taking these 1v1s against Aatrox, coming out ahead, Bjergsen split pushing on the side wave and making a lot of pressure that way. Like, despite them falling behind, they played that well. Should they have been in that position? Probably not. Yeah. But since they were, they took advantage.
You know, I was looking at Ziggs at the end of that match and thinking, as a coach, where would you put yourself? Do you bust out the whip or do you congratulate at that point? Right? You're like,
What do you do? What do you do?
Right? Like,
I think they got punished enough,
Right?
right? Like, they had the experience playing that game. I think that was punishment enough. At that point, you just have to reward your players.
I mean, this was the team that we were touting as the only other one capable of challenging C9 and Team Liquid. They've already taken one win off of Team Liquid. They have that 0-2 against C9. But showing a little bit of an ability to come back. I think that is an important skill to have. Not a position you want to be in.
But something you have to know how to do.
But something you have to know how to do, and they showed it to us here today. We have Game 4 right around the corner. Clutch Gaming and FlyQuest. They face off when we return.